Hey guys, what the heck is up, and welcome to the Linux Deep Dive. So in this course we're going to touch on basically what makes Linux tick, and we are going to dive super deep into the internals of Linux, and we're going to experiment and play around with pretty much everything Linux has to offer. In this course we will cover file systems and how to partition our disk and how to basically prep for installation. We'll install and debug our system, and we'll configure and optimize it. From there, we'll be going and setting up web services. We'll dive into some security, and we'll program on the system, and we'll actually make use of what we built from scratch. And from here, we'll also go and check out other Linux distributions that are similar to what we made, and maybe a bit different too, so we can go and better understand the industry and what they use. The requirements for this course are that you have a PC or a Mac. You probably won't be able to do this course with a Chromebook. I'd recommend you have a Core i3 or newer CPU or an AMD equivalent, and 4 GB of RAM or more is recommended. If you don't want to install Linux to the computer, I'd recommend you get a copy of Oracle VM VirtualBox or a copy of VMware Player. In case you don't know how to use these tools, I'd recommend you go and check out a YouTube video on how to use them. And alongside this, you'll need a working high-speed internet connection with a quality internet service provider, so you can have a reliable internet connection while you download updates and you update your system and get the packages ready for installation. Lastly, you'll want some time to practice, because there's going to be a lot of content covered here. It's going to take you basically from zero to hero when it comes to Linux. And why this course? So we're going to be diving into system architecture, what makes Linux's heart beat, and we're going to be diving into all the configuration files, well, as many as we can. We'll be building our own custom kernel. We'll be doing everything. And that leads into the second point, which is customizing your own system. So they'll allow us to build our own custom desktop, our own custom servers, and anything we ever wanted to build with computers. It'll allow us to build a better understanding of Linux as well in this process, in which we can go and develop so much with what we've learned. By the way, excuse the saw in the background. Okay, so this course is organized into 4 units, and these 4 units are going to consist of the fundamentals, source-based Linux, other distros and bash scripting and programming, security and other cool stuff. So the first unit is going to consist of just learning the basics, basic commands, partitioning, file systems, and just preparing you for the installations ahead and the configuration ahead. Once all the prep is ready, we're going to actually go and start diving into a source-based Linux distribution. We're going to download the Gentoo image. We're going to install Gentoo Linux. In this process, we're going to understand make and GCC. We're going to understand what a chroot is, and we're going to configure all the configuration files and custom compile our system. Normally this is not done. This is for the sake of learning how every single thing works. And then once we understand how all the internals work from Unit 2, we'll carry that knowledge into Unit 3, where we'll dive into other Linux distributions such as CentOS, Debian, and Manjaro, and we'll go and start playing around with those systems. And we'll go and recurse back to Unit 2 with the system we built from scratch, and we'll automate it. And we'll program on the system we built. So for that, we'll be using mostly Bash. We might dive into some Python, C, and C++. And lastly, we'll dive into security in Unit 4. So since it's going to be connected to the internet, we care about having our system safe from attackers, because you don't want your tax documents to be stolen. You don't want your personal information to go by the wayside. And to be honest, security is not that hard to do. And also, this is where we can add some really cool tweaks. We can set up a desktop environment and maybe even get your computer ready for playing video games if you wanted to play games, or maybe even get your computer ready to host a server. It's all up to you in this unit. And all the information will be provided to you for what you want to do with it. There's going to be a lot of information covered in this course, so please try this stuff out, because you'll want to develop an understanding. So, sure, you can watch the YouTube videos, but if you just watch the YouTube videos, you won't get this stuff. You won't be able to follow. And don't quit. Keep at it. And just explore. Because if you explore and mess around with Linux, everything will just click. And to be honest, there's so much to do with Linux and so much to experiment with that you'll always have fun with it. There's Docker, there's firewalls, there's so many tools that you can play with. And if you get stuck, check the documentation, in which I will be providing links to in every single video. And on top of that, I'll be providing in-depth lessons, and I'll also be providing an email. So if you wish to email me with your questions, I'd recommend that you go and try to solve the problem and then tell me what you did, so I can help you work through the process step by step. And lastly, good luck on the course, enjoy the course, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next lesson.